we have such a good relationship with the Casper community, and the Casper community just loves us. And we have a great foundation that loves supporting our students. And really, the Casper community, the foundation, and the college all are just on the same page of let's get our students through and get them to better lives, and or if they're transferring, get them to the university or other schools that they want to transfer to, because I think that everybody just sees how much better we are when our students go to school, finish, and come back and work in the community.
Welcome, everyone, to Coffee with the President. We're here at Casper College in Casper, Wyoming. It is my pleasure to be here with the President, President Cosini. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, this is going to be an awesome episode. And, first of all, I just want to thank you and the staff, administration, the warm Wyoming hospitality is real. And it's going to be a fantastic episode. And I think where we should start this interview out, you have a great history here as a professor, then as a dean, now as president. So it's like, I'd love you just to discuss a little bit of what that journey was, but most importantly, you love it here.
I do.
And why?
So that's a multifaceted question.
Yeah, sorry.
So I'm actually a Wyoming kid. I was born and raised a couple hours up the road up in Sheridan. I got here in 2012 I took a psychology instructor position and just thought I'd teach the rest of my career. And as luck would have it, I applied for the dean position when it came open and got that. And then I served as the interim vice president for a year, and then got that position and served in that for another 5 years. And then had this opportunity about 6 months ago to serve as the interim president. And so here I am. Yeah. And never did I ever think this would be in my trajectory.
Yeah. It's not funny how life goes.
Life works.
Before we started pushing recording, he was showing me where, the property he has not too far from here. And it's you're going to see it throughout this entire episode, but it's just the Casper Mountains and it's a beautiful part of this country. But with your experience here at Casper, having different positions and kind of rolling on, what do you love about it the most? And when you're talking to friends and family members that maybe are outside of this area, don't know about it, how do you describe the institution?
So, for me, I'm a first generation college student. And just, going from my bachelor's degree down at the University of Wyoming, and then I got a master's degree at Pittsburgh State in Kansas. So I moved there for a few years. And then I came back to UW and got my doctorate. I'm just a Wyoming kid through and through. And I just see, so for me, education is just so transformative because I've seen it in my own life. And just being able to work with students. When I moved here, I taught, several sections of general psychology, and I was just really surprised at the stories that the students would bring in class and come talk to me afterwards. And just knowing that we're a part of their journey and that we're a part of getting them out, for many of our students, getting them out of their current circumstances into a better life is just, the work is just so meaningful, And so that's what us trying to provide the best experience for our students, remove barriers from them, helping them get over their own personal obstacles, and just being a part of their journey is just probably the most rewarding thing.
It fires you up.
Have.
You can tell. You can tell it's fired up. It's like, I think I actually talked about this in the episode, but if I'm correct, in 2023, 2024, nearly $14 million in scholarship aid was given. That's a lot for this community. Is that something that, you're fired up on? Is that something that, of course, you're excited about it, but implementing that and allowing that, is that part of the breaking the barrier down to just make it the affordability here possible for so many of the students?
Absolutely. And we are just so lucky in Casper. We have such a good relationship with the Casper community, and the Casper community just loves us. And we have a great foundation that loves supporting our students. And really, the Casper community, the foundation, and the college all are just on the same page of let's get our students through and get them to better lives, and or if they're transferring, get them to the university or other schools that they want to transfer to, because I think that everybody just sees how much better we are when our students go to school, finish, and come back and work in the community.
Absolutely. It's funny. Before this, I was talking to the news station, and they were asking that one thing. What is that one thing? And it's like, it's such a hard answer.
Oh,
it's almost impossible because this is really going to be an amazing episode. But you know what I said? I said community, because it's not just the community of Casper, but when you look at there's so many of these students when they talk about their stories, and we're going to do a story, and we're going to be at the basketball game later tonight. I believe both of us will be, but we tell a story of one of the basketball players. And it's his story of talking about not just so much on the court, but the coaches, his teammates, and everyone around him that's propelling him forward. And so there's that energy and feeling that the students can articulate, which is powerful.
Well, and one of the interesting things about Wyoming, so this goes for most of the colleges here, is that the next institution is 150 miles away. Yeah. So we are really literally in the middle of Wyoming. So we are training our workforce. We're educating so many of our students. And it's just, it's amazing when you walk down the hallway to my office here, you go by the outstanding alumni. And I love to just stop and read some of those sometimes, because it's former Vice President Dick Cheney is an alumni of Casper College. 3 of our board members attended Casper College. And just so many of our other folks serve on the alumni board, and people just love the college because it's just a special place. I do have to tell this story. So this is really cool. I was down in Laramie earlier this week at the university for the Governor's Business Forum. And I'm talking to a couple of my former colleagues, and this woman who I'd never met was just standing, about 10 feet away, and I could tell she was waiting for me to get done talking. And I had my Casper College, lapel pin and everything. And she just came up to me and she said, "I just had to tell you how much my dad is an alum of Casper College, and he's 80 years old, and he went to several other institutions, but he just continually talks about how much he loved his time at Casper College, and it's just such a special place for him." And so that's we're a little over 75 years old. We had our
first
anniversary
community college
years,
in the state,
and we are
Wyoming,
the first community college in the state. But it was just cool. It's so you talk to these people who attended Casper College, and they just have such fond memories of it, and that's just part of the picture for us. That's just so special.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It's awesome. When you look to the future and the next, whether it's a few years, it's what are you most excited about?
I'm just excited to see where we're going to go. I think that we're doing great things already, but just with all the advances in technology and some of the things that are coming into Wyoming, some of the industries that are being brought here, and working with the Casper area economic development, and just looking at how are we going to help meet their workforce needs? How is education going to change in terms of how we educate our students? I think that there's a lot of unknowns, but I just know that with my faculty and staff that we're going to be able to meet those needs. It'll be a challenge, just like it is for everyone, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And this is something I've talked to some of your administration staff on, that I just think it's really cool, because it's almost like you're all sitting here just listening to the community, because you're so tied in with the community that you're just listening to what's happening in the community and what are their needs. Yeah. And then, cool. That's what y'all need. Let's go build that program, get these students set up for success. It's fun.
Well, and one of the cool things too is that, we have advisory boards that are local. And so they know the local needs, like you said. But the cool thing is, so we do have a challenge, we are in the middle of Wyoming. And again, the bigger places are about 150 miles away. So we educate so many of our students. They work in the industry. They serve on our advisory boards. And then a lot of times they come back and they're our adjunct instructors. And then a lot of times we have retirements, and then those folks end up becoming our full-time instructors. So it's really just this cool cyclical thing that we have that I think a lot of other campuses don't have.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. Is there any question I should ask you that I haven't?
Oh, that's a good question.
Sorry.
I'm a counselor, so I usually ask that question.
Well, I always try. I always just if there's something I'm missing, or it's oh man, this would be a good question for me, Alex.
I don't think so. I just think, as I was preparing for this, I just was thinking about all of the things that we do here at Casper College. And, one of the unique things about us is a lot of folks say we're comprehensive community colleges, but when I started thinking about what does that mean for Casper College, we are serving so many other populations that I don't think people realize. So we have a program here called Help Yourself Academy that's for 3rd to 5th graders.
Oh, yeah.
Traditionally, they're low income, but we bus them up from the school district, and it's a science program. It's to introduce young students to science. And so we have, some award-winning teachers from the school district who come up to the college. They do these experiments with the kids and get them excited about college and about science. And then we have a graduation for them at the end of every year where we invite the families. And so we're starting that. Then we have Key Camp where it's kind of like college for 7th and 8th graders, and so we have that. And then you get up here and we have Gear Up, they're helping low-income students trying to get them to college. So we have that program. And then when they get to college, we've got, adult basic education, we've got ESL, we've got an Osher lifelong learning program that's for our older population that they come to Ollie, and we have social hours. They can take up to 5 classes with their membership, and so we have over 650 members who are over the age of 50 in this program that come to just take fun, enriching classes. Yeah. We've got community ed, we've got workforce, we've got credit classes. So we really hit the gamut of the lifespan from, these little 3rd graders all the way up to folks who have been retired for several years. And it's just,
how cool.
It's just
it's
exciting.
So cool. Yeah, I know. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I could sit here for hours. We have been, before we even push record, we were talking about it for like 30 minutes. It's really cool what you all are doing here. If you haven't watched the episode and you're watching this, please check it out. It's really cool. I just want to say thank you
thank you.
Just you and the entire, community here. Everyone's just been so warm welcoming, just opening the doors and allowing, the incredible producers to come in and help tell this story and bring it all to life. So we appreciate it.
To have you.
This is pretty awesome. All right. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.